What's going on, guys? Love Smash, back with an all-new video for you guys today. And in today's video, I wanted to take on what I feel was one of the most interesting things to come out of Smash Ultimate with the inclusion of Echo Fighters. Now, essentially, Echo Fighters are not new to the Smash Bros. Series as a whole. Back in the day, all of us just referred to them as clone characters, now being given this definitive name in Smash Ultimate. Essentially, what they are characters based off existing characters in the Smash Bros. Universe, where they have moves that are slightly different than their counterparts, different animations here or there. They look similar, but behave just enough differently to warrant them as these Echo Fighters. Currently, we have 6 Echo Fighters officially revealed. We have Richter, Lucina, Daisy, Dark Samus, Dark Pit, and Chrom all joining the battle. And many more most likely on the way, which brings us to this video at hand with my top 10 predictions for Echo Fighters in Smash Ultimate. These are a few characters I either feel are deserving or most likely based on supposed leaks and rumors or just based on a gut feeling. So without further ado, let's dive into my first pick at number 1, and with a pretty obvious choice if you ask me or pretty much anybody else, with Ken for Ryu. Now, ever since the first Street Fighter game and onward, there has been Ryu, and there has been Ken. Now, of course, Ken has a few unique things in his moveset that make him a little different than Ryu, but essentially the characters play almost identical. Both have a Hadouken, a Shuriken, and a Hurricane Kick. Seems like just an easy transition to make Ken an Echo for Ryu. Not only that, Ken has also been supposedly rumored or leaked to be appearing in Smash Ultimate, so based on all that alone, I think it's only a matter of time till he's officially revealed, and also not to mention if the team wanted to add a little something extra, they can make Evil Ryu and Violent Ken alternate skins for these two fighters. Now moving on to number 2 with yet another obvious choice with Ms. Pac-Man for Pac-Man. Now I feel like this is probably one of the easiest transitions besides Ryu for Ken, and essentially Ms. Pac-Man is just as iconic, well-known, and popular as her male counterpart, and I think the team would be downright foolish and would be definitely shocking if she was not added as an Echo Fighter for Pac-Man, adds another female rep, some more Namco representation, and more iconicness to this already packed lineup in Smash Ultimate. Now moving on to number 3 with the Octolings for the Inklings. And how do you represent for a new IP, except with all the other stuff they've done for Splatoon by adding the Inklings as playable fighters in Smash Ultimate? You add the Octolings as well. Just adds more variety to the game, more characters you can choose between the male and female Inklings, the male and female Octolings, and just reps Splatoon even more. Just another simple transition I think the team would be foolish not to make. Now moving on to number 4 with Dixie for Diddy Kong. Now I know a lot of people would say I'd rather have Dixie Kong as a standalone fighter and be somewhat unique with her hairspin move in her moveset. However, if that does not happen, I do feel that Dixie would be essentially a very good option for an Echo Fighter for Diddy. Now, some fans are probably already saying, well, they should have revealed her a King K. Rool's trailer, that means she's not going to be in. Not necessarily, because remember, Dark Samus was not revealed during Ridley's trailer. I don't think that matters in the slightest. They can easily reveal her at some direct in the near future. Now, that is in fact if she is going to be an Echo Fighter. I know fans are holding out hope she'd be unique in some way if added to the roster, but I think it'd just be great to see Dixie added in some capacity to Smash. None of that, she's been highly requested for such a long time, one of the Forbidden 7, add more female representation, and more representation for the Donkey Kong franchise that, even with K. Rool's reveal, is still severely lacking. Now moving on to pick number 5 with Gian for Bayonetta. Now even though Bayonetta is not an original IP or Nintendo-owned franchise, they certainly treat her and the franchise like it is one. I mean, for Christ's sake, Bayonetta won the Smash ballot. I mean, of course that's up for interpretation between the fans if that was in fact legit, but nonetheless, it did happen. Every Bayonetta game has been ported to a Nintendo console. Bayonetta is on the horizon for the Switch. It just would be shocking if they didn't add more representation for this franchise. Now, I personally never played the games, but just watching some footage with Gian, it seemed like she would make a perfect Echo Fighter for Bayonetta if they went that route, and judging how much Nintendo loves the character and the franchise, it'd be something that would not shock me in the slightest if this was to actually happen. Now on to pick number 6 with either Zack or Angeal for Cloud. Now, personally, I'm not the biggest Final Fantasy fan in the world. I'm more of a Kingdom Hearts fan, but definitely seeing one of these two characters wield the Buster Sword as an Echo Fighter for Cloud would something that would not only not surprise me, but it would be foolish for Nintendo not to do. Now, there's also been a rumor going around, like I said, it's only a rumor, but that another Square Enix fighter could be joining the roster for Smash Ultimate. Now, of course, maybe it's one of these two characters being an Echo Fighter for Cloud, or the fan community might finally get their wish with Geno being added to the roster. I guess we'll have to wait and see, but here's definitely 2 viable options for one of them being an Echo Fighter for Cloud. Now on to number 7 with Dark Meta Knight for Meta Knight. Now, some of you guys might be saying, why not Morpho Knight or Galacta Knight? I personally felt they were good options, but in the end, after seeing that most recent trailer for the new Kirby game with Dark Meta Knight just wrecking shop, definitely got me a little bit hyped to see this character included as an Echo Fighter. Fans may argue and say he's more unique to be a standalone fighter, but if they want to go the route for an Echo Fighter, definitely a good option and a viable one if Dark Meta Knight was added. And it is Sakurai's franchise, don't forget, so if he wanted to add this character, or any Kirby character for that matter, he's going to do it. Moving on to my next pick is a pretty obvious one with Shadow for Sonic. I cannot tell you how many people have been requesting Shadow be added to this roster for any Smash Bros. Game for such a long time. And now a lot of fans are going by the theory that Knuckles is an assist trophy. That means Shadow is going to be playable. That's a good theory, doesn't really prove much. They can easily just bring Shadow back as an assist trophy, but based on his popularity alone and how much he's been requested, I think he's pretty much 99% confirmed to be an Echo Fighter for Sonic at some point. They can even make Super Shadow as his final Smash, implement that very easily, and finally make a big part of the fan community extremely excited. Moving on to number 9 is one that I think could be a little tricky, but the team may be able to pull off, and that is Birdo for Yoshi. Birdo is somewhat popular and requested in the Smash community, obviously not more than others, and the reason I say it could potentially not work is because with Yoshi's tongue move where he extends to either eat an opponent or turn them into an egg, I don't believe it's something we've ever seen Birdo do in previous games in the Mario series, but I mean, they create movesets based on things characters never done in their games anyway. I mean, no one's seen Captain Falcon in a game actually Falcon punch somebody, or Fox reflect, or do Firefox, or anything like that. So they can easily implement that move and make Birdo a unique addition as an Echo Fighter, and please a small part of the fan community who always wanted to see this character playable. Now, before I get to my 10th and final pick, I wanted to give a bonus pick, and that is Peppy for Fox and Slippy for Falco. Now, the reason I made this a bonus pick is for the sheer fact, I don't know if it's going to come down to weight on these characters, because obviously you could see Peppy is much heavier and just about the same size as Fox, but a lot heavier would make him a slower character, and Slippy is about half the size of Falco. So even though these characters are supposed to look somewhat similar and be maybe the same height, I don't know if that comes into Sakurai's decisions when he makes an Echo Fighter, but I didn't want to make them a character and then have people argue that in the comments where Peppy would be a heavier character or Slippy would be flimsy or whatever. So that's why I decided to make them a bonus pick, but just the sheer notion of having all members of the Star Fox team playable in a Smash game would definitely be something awesome to see and really, really cool that I think the team should really consider. But like I said, it may come down to weight and all that other stuff. Now on to my 10th and final pick with a character who's also been hinted at and rumored or supposedly leaked, and that is Isabelle for Villager. Now, in that supposed leak and rumor, it did not specify whether or not she would be a standalone unique fighter or an Echo Fighter. That has failed to be seen. However, if they went the route to add Isabelle, I don't think she would be a bad Echo Fighter or a bad standalone fighter, whichever route they've taken. I'm personally a fan of Isabelle. I know a lot of fans actually hate her and would now not see her in a Smash Bros. Game. They don't think she's suited for battle, but who really thought Wii Fit Trainer, Villager, and some of the other characters that were introduced in Smash Bros. Would be viable options. And I definitely think Isabelle is a great option here if they wanted to make her an Echo Fighter, but if she was to be unique in some way, I would not complain in the slightest and actually would prefer that, but just another option that I felt I needed to include on this list for the sheer fact that she's been leaked, heavily leaked, I should say, for the past few months. So anyway, guys, those are my predictions for the top 10 Echo Fighters for Smash Ultimate. Any characters I missed that you personally want to see? Ones you agree with, ones you disagree with, anything you want to mention in the comments, please feel free to. But anyway, guys, that is the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And like always, for all the latest fighting game news and speculation, be sure to subscribe to my channel and follow me on Twitter. Thank you guys, like always, so much for watching, and we'll see you soon with a brand new video.